I got an email from someone on Gaither Community that said maybe, well, they read a poem that I posted that I wrote in one of my blogs on there, and they said that maybe I should do a video about it and, you know, read the poem that I wrote so more people could see it. So that's what I'm going to do. And, yeah, I've always had a thing about writing poetry. I can't write songs. I mean, I've tried. Trust me. But they always just end up just sounding really corny. I'm not Dottie Rambo. Let's just put it that way. But I write pretty good poems, and the first poem I ever wrote was called Horrible Day. And you could tell an 8-year-old wrote it, but it's actually pretty cute. But if I ever find that, I'll read it just for kicks. So anyway, on a serious note, you'll find that this poem is uneven in the sense that the first half is like really depressing, but then the end is like, you know, more hopeful. And I think it's kind of cool because it really shows you how different my mind frame has changed. Because the first half I wrote a couple years ago, you know, I was going through a big depression, and I was still kind of, you know, grieving about, you know, the rape, and about, you know, my dad, you know, is like really heavy into drugs, and you know, my parents divorced, and it was just, and I got kicked out of school, and it was just, it was a horrible time, and so I was just really depressed. And so I'm going to try to read the poem without crying, because we all know what happens when I start crying. But yeah, so the first half I wrote was meant to be like a suicide note. And I had thought about killing myself. Well, the first time I thought about killing myself, I was 13. And I was like sexually harassed all the way through school. And I was really picked on because of my weight, like really bad, thinking, you know, I want to kill myself, but I just didn't know how. I had thought about killing myself before, but at this point I was dead serious. I really did want to kill myself, because it started out as, I don't really want to kill myself, I just need help, you know, I just want the depression to stop. By this point I really did want to die, because I was just tired of feeling the way I felt. So that's when I wrote the first half. Was a really dark place, and I never finished it, and I kind of forgot about it until a couple months ago. I found the unfinished poem, and I was just like shocked, you know, what a dark place I was. And I just decided maybe I should finish it and turn it into, you know, a poem with a happy ending, sort of like the new me telling the old me that, you know, it's all going to be okay. And I'm going to try to read it well. I'm going to try to read it without start crying, because, of course, as you can imagine, it does bring up back memories. It's a lot easier to just write it down in the blog than read it out loud. But anyway, I'm going to try. I guess the title is Cry and Cry. Okay, here goes. I cut my skin with this knife to kill the pain that's trapped inside, hoping soon it will be the end, 'cause insecurity's my only friend. How come the silence seems so loud, even in the midst of smiling crowds, running from a demon that's chasing me, wiping away tears that nobody sees, too weak to live, too scared to die, so all I can do is cry and cry. Can't seem to smile and I don't know why all I do is cry and cry. It's so hard to fly when your wings were clipped, it's so hard to love when your heart's been ripped. If only you were judged by what's underneath, then maybe we could relax and stop to breathe. It will never care to understand, it's hard to walk when you cannot stand. I look in the mirror and now I see, the reason I'm alone is staring back at me. Shut everyone out whatever you do, 'cause they wouldn't like you if they knew. Too weak to go on and too scared to try, so just hang your head and cry and cry. Or you can hope and dare to dream. The reflection in the mirror is more than what it seems. Maybe you can't succeed, but maybe you could. If the bad things control you, you'll miss the good. You just may be smarter than you let on. Crying doesn't mean you're not strong. Look to the sky, God will never leave. He understands your tears, it's okay to grieve. He loves you, don't you understand? The proof that lies in the nails in his hands. So hold on tight, do not give up. Keep moving on even when you've had enough. You think you won't make it, then more days go by, maybe you won't. But you have to try. To hold on to the promise that someday you'll know why. Why all you did was cry and cry. That's pretty much it.